Breaking alert from Caribbean Sea. Venezuela seizes American oil tanker, 23 crew arrested, cargo confiscated. Maduro regime claims sanctions violation, U.S. Navy responding. This is happening now. It's 6:47 a.m. local time, 40 miles off Venezuelan coast, international waters, MT Delta Mariner, U.S. flagged oil tanker, 50,000 tons, Panamanian crude oil aboard, destination Houston, legal shipment, legitimate commerce, standard route. Then Venezuelan Coast Guard vessels appear. 3 patrol boats, high-speed approach, weapons visible, 50 caliber machine guns, 25mm cannons, armed boarding teams, Venezuelan flags flying, revolutionary rhetoric blaring over loudspeakers. Halt immediately. Prepare for inspection. You are violating Venezuelan sovereignty. Claims false. Tanker in international waters. No violation, no justification, but Venezuela doesn't care. MT Delta Mariner crew sees them coming. Captain alerts company. Mayday transmitted. Position reported. Venezuelan Coast Guard approaching. Demanding stop. We are international waters. Request assistance. Message received. Coast Guard notified. Navy alerted. State Department informed, but help hours away. Tanker alone. Crew vulnerable. Seizure imminent. Navy alert monitoring this piracy act developing. Real-time coverage. Breaking updates. State-sponsored theft. American crew hostage. International law violated. At 7:03 a.m., Venezuelan boats surround tanker. Boxing formation. Escape impossible. Machine guns aimed at bridge. RPGs visible. Threat unmistakable. Stop engines immediately or we open fire. Ultimatum delivered. Captain faces impossible choice. Comply with illegal order or resist and risk crew lives. 23 sailors aboard. Families at home. No weapons, no defenses. Only compliance possible. Should U.S. tankers operate near Venezuela? Comment Y or N. Engine stopped. Tanker drifts. Venezuelan boarding team approaches. Heavily armed, body armor, helmets, AK-47s. They're not Coast Guard, they're military. Special forces, probably. Trained, professional, aggressive. Climbing aboard. Weapons ready. Securing vessel. Taking control. Captain protests. This is illegal. International waters. American vessel. You have no authority. Protests ignored. Guns pointed. Compliance enforced. Crew ordered to bridge. Hands visible. No resistance. Professional sailors, merchant marines, not warriors, not fighters. Civilian crew. Complying with armed soldiers. Because survival matters. Because families waiting. Because life precious. 23 men. All American citizens. All held at gunpoint. All prisoners now. Of Venezuelan regime. Of Maduro dictatorship. Of state piracy. Hit like if you support American merchant marines. At 7:28 a.m., Venezuelan commander makes announcement. This vessel violated Venezuelan sanctions carrying stolen oil. Destination illegal. Crew under arrest. Ship seized. Maduro government justice. Complete fabrication. Oil is Panamanian. Purchased legally. Transported legally. Destination legal. Nothing stolen. Nothing illegal. Except Venezuelan seizure. Except Maduro piracy. Except this act. Crew separated. Captain isolated. Officers detained separately. Crew held together. Interrogation begins. Who hired you? What company? Where's oil from? Who's paying? Questions endless. Accusations baseless. Crew answers truthfully. Venezuelan soldiers don't care. Building case, manufacturing crime, creating narrative, for propaganda, for internal consumption, for anti-American theater. How many U.S. merchant ships operate Caribbean? A. 50 ships. B. 200 ships. C. 800 ships. MT Delta Mariner forced toward Venezuela. Engines restarted. Venezuelan crew operating. Course set for La Guaira. Main port. Caracas nearby. Tanker being stolen. Cargo being confiscated. International crime. State piracy. But who stops them? Who enforces law? When criminals are government? When pirates wear uniforms? When theft is official? Navy alert sources confirm this is escalation. Previous incidents harassment. Ships shadowed, vessels questioned, but not seized, not stolen, not pirated, until now. Maduro crossed line, took American ship, arrested American crew, confiscated American cargo from international waters without justification, without authority, without legality, pure criminality, state level, government approved, regime action. U.S. Coast Guard responds, USCGC James, closest asset, 120 miles away, maximum speed ordered, but arrives too late. Tanker already Venezuelan waters, already regime control, already stolen. Coast Guard can monitor, can observe, can protest, cannot board, cannot rescue, cannot recover. Not Venezuelan waters, not without war. Situation impossible, options limited, crew endangered. Is this act of war? Comment yes or no. Pentagon emergency session, Admiral briefing, carrier strike group location. USS George Washington, 400 miles away, destroyers closer. USS Porter DDG-78, 200 miles, orders issued close on Venezuela. Show presence, demonstrate capability. Message Maduro, but carefully. Because American crew hostage, because precipitous action risks lives, because rescue complicated. Delicate situation, no good options, only bad and worse. State Department issues statement. Venezuela has illegally seized American merchant vessel in international waters. 23 U.S. citizens held hostage. This is piracy. This is hostage taking. This is international crime. We demand immediate release. We hold Maduro regime fully responsible. There will be consequences. Strong words, but consequences unclear. What leverage? When regime desperate? When dictator cornered? When economy collapsed? What punishment matters to those with nothing left to lose? If you want breaking naval news, type Navy alert below. Venezuelan state media celebrates. Revolutionary Coast Guard captured American oil thieves. Imperialist vessel stealing Venezuelan resources. Maduro government protects national wealth. Propaganda immediate, narrative false, but domestic audience cheering, anti-American sentiment high, economic collapse blamed on U.S., sanctions blamed for suffering, external enemy, internal solidarity, classic dictatorship, predictable pattern, expected behavior. MT Delta Mariner arrives La Guaira at 10:34 a.m., port secured, military everywhere. Crew marched off ship, hands bound, international media filming, CNN cameras, BBC present, Al Jazeera recording. Maduro wants publicity, wants spectacle, wants anti-American theater. Crew humiliated, displayed, paraded, like criminals, like pirates, like thieves. But they're victims, innocent sailors doing legal job, suffering illegal detention. Crew transferred to prison. El Helicoide, Caracas Intelligence Headquarters, notorious facility, torture reported, political prisoners held, opposition leaders detained, now American sailors, 23 men, concrete cells, no contact, no lawyers, no consular access, Vienna Convention violated, international law ignored, human rights trampled, but Maduro doesn't care, never does, never will. Power is only law. Control is only right. Regime survival is only concern. How will U.S. secure crew release? Comment your prediction. Families notified, 23 households, wives called, children told, parents informed, your husband arrested, your father detained, your son imprisoned. Venezuela seized ship, government holding hostage, working to free them, time frame unknown, families devastated, shock, fear, anger, why, how, when coming home, questions without answers, concerns without solutions, fear without comfort. Oil tanker cargo confiscated, 50,000 tons crude, $30 million value, Venezuelan government stealing, claiming justice, calling compensation for sanctions damage, for American imperialism, for historical grievances, justifications endless, theft obvious, international crime clear. But who enforces law against governments? Who punishes states? Who prosecutes regimes? International court, toothless, United Nations, ineffective, economic sanctions, already maximum, military force, risks hostages, options limited, justice delayed, maybe denied, congressional outrage, senators demand action, representatives calling for invasion, rescue our sailors, free our citizens, punish Venezuela, send military, voices loud, emotions high, but action complicated. Because hostage rescue difficult, because special operations risky, because casualties possible, because Maduro might execute hostages, desperate dictator, cornered regime, unpredictable responses, careful approach, patient strategy, diplomatic pressure, covert planning, public caution, private preparation. Intelligence community activated. Where exactly crew held? What's security? How many guards? What's rescue feasibility? CIA analyzing, DIA investigating, NSA monitoring, satellite surveillance, electronic intercepts, human intelligence, every resource deployed, every capability engaged, finding vulnerabilities, identifying opportunities, planning operations, just in case, just if needed, just when ordered, military options, special operations, hostage rescue if diplomacy fails, if patience ends, if president orders, ready, always, necessarily. Regional allies consulted, Colombia supportive, Brazil cautious, Panama concerned, everyone affected, because Venezuelan piracy threatens everyone. If American ships seized, what about Colombian? What about Brazilian? What about Panamanian? Nobody safe. International waters insecure, maritime commerce threatened. Regional stability collapsing, everyone concerned, everyone willing to help. But carefully. Because Venezuelan military capable, because Maduro unpredictable, because hostages valuable, collective concern, limited action, difficult situation. Commercial shipping reacts, some companies reroute, Caribbean passages adjusted, Venezuelan waters avoided completely, even international waters near Venezuela. Too risky? Too dangerous? Too unpredictable? Insurance rates spike? Premiums double? Some routes uninsurable. Economic impact, trade disruption, supply chain complications. One Piracy Act. Multiple sectors affected, regional commerce damaged, global effects rippling, interconnected economy, maritime security critical, Venezuela destabilizing, everyone paying, literally and figuratively. U.S. Navy increases presence, carrier strike group patrols offshore, destroyers visible, fighter aircraft overhead, surveillance continuous, message sent, America watching, America capable, America ready, but also restrained, because hostages, because lives, because careful approach necessary, show strength, maintain presence, but avoid provocation, don't give Maduro excuse, don't endanger crew, balance difficult, messaging complex, strategy nuanced. Back-channel diplomacy begins, third countries contacted, Mexico approach Venezuela, Norway willing to mediate, Switzerland offers talks, everyone trying, everyone hoping, everyone working, because American sailors imprisoned, because families suffering, because international law violated, because piracy must not succeed. Diplomatic pressure, behind scenes, quiet conversations, without publicity, without theater, without spectacle, just results, just release, just resolution. Hopefully soon, possibly eventually, maybe never. Uncertainty tortures, families wait, nation watches. Days pass, no release, no contact, no progress. Crew remains imprisoned, families desperate, government frustrated, options dwindling, patience thinning, pressure mounting. To do something, to act decisively, to rescue forcefully, but risks enormous. El Helicoide secure, Caracas heavily defended, special operations dangerous, casualties likely, success uncertain. Hostages might die, rescuers might die, war might start. Calculations complex, decisions difficult, leadership heavy, president deciding, admiral planning, special operations preparing, just in case. Technology helps somewhat. Satellite surveillance, drone reconnaissance, electronic monitoring, intelligence gathering, everything available, everything deployed, everything analyzed, building picture, understanding security, identifying patterns, finding weaknesses, preparing plans, multiple options, various contingencies, different scenarios, because hope for best, prepare for worst, military wisdom, hostage crisis reality, special operations doctrine. Media coverage intense. CNN 24/7, Fox continuous, international press obsessed, families interviewed, experts opining, politicians commenting, everyone talking, few acting, few solving, few freeing. Coverage doesn't rescue, publicity doesn't liberate, attention doesn't release, but families grateful, issue visible, pressure sustained, government accountable. That matters somewhat, marginally, but something. Maduro makes demands. Release Venezuelan assets frozen in U.S. banks. Lift all sanctions. Recognize Venezuelan government. End regime change policy. List endless. Demands impossible. Negotiating position extreme. Expecting rejection. Wanting failure because prolonged crisis serves regime. External enemy maintained. Distraction continued. Opposition suppressed. Power consolidated through crisis, through hostages, through American sailors, human pawns, political chess, dictator's game. 2 weeks pass, crew still detained, conditions deteriorating, food insufficient, medical care denied, consular access refused, families desperate, government determined, but options emerging, intelligence complete, plans developed, rescue feasible, risky but possible, SEAL teams training, Delta Force preparing, contingency ready. Just need order, just need authorization, just need president's decision to risk everything, to save Americans, to punish piracy, to restore law, to enforce justice. Waiting, ready, capable, whenever ordered, however needed, whatever required. Diplomatic breakthrough unexpected. Russia intervenes. Putin calls Maduro. Conversation private, but effect clear. Next day, Venezuela announces American sailors released on humanitarian grounds. Ship returned, cargo confiscated remains as compensation. Partial victory, crew freed, ship recovered, oil lost. Mixed outcome, but acceptable because Americans safe, because lives preserved, because families reunited. Worth cargo value, worth diplomatic cost, worth everything. People matter, always, essentially, ultimately. Final status: Venezuela seized American oil tanker in international waters. 23 crew arrested, 2 weeks imprisonment. Diplomatic pressure intense, military options prepared, Russian intervention unexpected, crew released, ship returned, cargo confiscated, partial victory, international piracy successful, Maduro emboldened, but Americans safe, families reunited, lives preserved, regional commerce threatened, Caribbean insecure, Venezuelan aggression continuing, U.S. Navy vigilant, future seizures possible, defenses prepared, responses planned, protection enhanced, because Maduro demonstrated willingness, because piracy succeeded, because hostages worked, regime learned, America adapted, confrontation continues, different forms, same conflict, endless competition, Caribbean reality, Western Hemisphere challenge. This is Venezuelan aggression. This is Maduro regime. This is regional crisis. America responds carefully, professionally, effectively, protecting sailors, defending commerce, maintaining law, despite criminals, despite piracy, despite failure, trying always, adapting constantly, protecting necessarily. This is Navy mission. This is American commitment. This is maritime security. Essential, forever, always. The answer? C. Approximately 800 U.S.-flagged merchant ships operate globally, many in Caribbean, all threatened by Venezuelan piracy, all needing protection, all requiring security, impossible task, limited resources, infinite ocean. But trying anyway, because merchant marines matter, because commerce essential, because law important. Despite challenges, despite limits, despite difficulties, protection continuing, security maintained, as best possible, always trying, forever committed. Should U.S. escort merchant ships near Venezuela? Will Maduro seize more vessels? Can regional piracy be stopped? Hit like if you want real-time Caribbean coverage. Subscribe to Navy Alert, where maritime news breaks first. Venezuelan aggression, maritime piracy, hostage crises, merchant marine safety, Navy protection, regional security, all covered, all reported, all analyzed. This is what we do. This is why we matter. This is Navy Alert.